Well, I chose the 21st of June being the longest day because it's Midsummer's Day. Today isn't about me or this artist, this kind of notional idea of an art. It's about the audience, and it's the audience that makes this as a project, as a performance. It's them who it's more important their reaction than what I think, for that matter. Yeah, this is one of 134 proposals for Jupiter Artland here at Bonington House, and in some ways this is the third of the proposals to be realised. This being obviously one of them, Snowstorm on Midsummer's Day, 21st of June. Then there's a bookwork, and then there's also a proposal that the genesis, if you like, of all the proposals, which is I proposed to write proposals for Nikki and Robert Wilson at Jupiter Artland. And so in some ways, although there are 134 and we've realised 3, the 3 that are realised are just as important as the ones that are still in the book and may still always be in the book. It is completely the opposite of those physical, the embodiments of work. This is the sort of polar opposite in terms of it is made and will go. I mean, in 2 weeks from now, a week from now, you're not going to know this was here. And that's the beauty of it. The ephemeral nature is that, you have this sort of very gentle environment that people are able to walk through and enjoy and be part of, but then it becomes a memory. It becomes for them, which for me is almost how the proposals work, because you're addressing those one-to-one, whether it's in the book or on the wall and at the artist studio here at Jupiter. And so the idea that you've got this space that exists that's actually just entirely in people's minds. So just because those 3 have been realised, those 3 proposals and this being one of them, it allows people to think, well, hold on, he's made it snow on Midsummer's Day, the longest day, supposedly a warm day, with blue sky. And if he's done that, what else is he going to do? How does that feed into people's imagination? It was just, it's completely magical, completely changes an area. Yeah. Once before, this time last year in New York on West 29th Street, we installed snow machines on the top of the buildings along West 29th Street. And the great thing about that is 7 o'clock, when all the vans and the trucks were loaded with post to go off into other parts of the United States, they started streaming down West 29th Street. And the thing was, because of the way these big trucks move air, is they were dragging all the snow. Right. It's the same snow as we're seeing here. It's made out of potato starch, and it's just bubbles, really. And they were dragging it to the turnpike, and then obviously there's a lot more cars there, and it was 32 degrees there. I mean, so it's really hot. It's amazing how it has that psychological effect as well, that you are just thinking about it in terms of, people know because they've walked through it and they've felt it and tasted it, and they've tried to make snowballs out of it and things, and they know it's not real. It's not a real, in itself, it's not a real, ice crystal at all. But what I love is how people have bought into that, and they're willing to sort of suspend that sort of belief or disbelief, for that matter, that they're just, they're part of something. This point to make this installation is because it's the point of entry to the park, and also the nature of this road means that as you approach the park gates and you come through the gates, you can't see, because there are twists and turns in this road, you can't actually see the end of the road. And it was important. If you look around here, it looks as if the snow could just go on. And the fact is it finishes 100 metres down from that corner. And it's like that idea of being self-contained or contained within a space, but also that idea of passage through and moving along and through a space. Whereas if it was in the sculpture park as an area of snow, it wouldn't have felt right, because it would affect this space and this as a piece very differently. But the ability to hide the machines that make this snow, and it's just really about that idea of passage into a space as well. So it kind of sets up a dialogue between what is normally here and then what is here now, and how it affects the way you approach. It's funny because when it first opened earlier on, the first few cars, and you could tell that people were wanting to be here on time. And so they were accelerating down the drive, and then suddenly you could hear the brakes go on, and just kind of this, and then a lot of smiles, and just then people were driving through here, and they seem to drive through here really slowly, which is great. I didn't think, I thought about it a bit, but I didn't know or really think what this reaction would be, quite. And just seeing that enjoyment is great, because it's something that you can't quantify or for that matter, project or expect. So it's been great.